it's just really interesting how we inadvertently put people on the defensive, doing what we think they expect us to do. And I can't tell you how many people say to me, well, they're asking for advice. They're asking for our expertise. They're asking for our advice. I don't know if any of you have heard, there's an old Buddhist adage that we don't give advice until someone asks for the third time. How many times do we ask for advice and we don't really want it? Or we just want to bounce an idea around with somebody? Or so if we are gentle in not giving advice, but pulling this out of our clients, then we talked before about ownership. We talked about, then it sounds like you really want to accomplish X and you just told me you've got all to build on. Do we want to create something where together, and I would have told Doug, I'm not going to do this for you. We're going to do this together. Does it sound like these are the things that you want to be building on, and et cetera, and et cetera. But I just wanted you guys to see the difference in the tone of what happens when we do what we assume we're supposed to be doing.
Can you go a little further on what you would do differently? I mean,
what I did in the beginning was what I would have done, which is to say, it sounds like this is what excites you.
And then what?
Do you want to talk more about that? Yeah, I really do. Good. Who else should be here? So we're not talking about now Doug and me, we're talking about a client. Do you want to talk more about this? Yeah. Who else should be in the room when we talk about it? Should it be your board? Should it be your finance chair? Should it be whatever the issue is? Who else should be in the room? One of the things that we find repeatedly is that we are not getting the people in the room initially that need to be in the room.
But are there instances where it's a pretty simple set of questions that they could kind of come to an aha because you asked have you thought about talking to your students? No, kind of like he did. Like I saw his body language.
Right.
But
right. How could I have asked Doug, instead of, have you thought about talking to your students? How could I have brought that conversation so that Doug went, oh my God, I can ask my students?
Right, because that's the point I think is more important than how can you get this long gig when you got to get the board involved and everybody else involved.
It depends on the work. It depends on the work. If we're doing work that is transformational in nature, normally Doug can't make that decision on his own. Normally Doug shouldn't make that decision on his own. The rest of the staff might. You might want the rest of the staff to be there. Because again, if I am going to craft something that I think is going to, okay, how many of you guys, the quote-unquote simplest thing is, will you, and I'm going to put this in big crows, just write a grant for me? Okay? How many people do we need in the room for just write a grant? We need as many people in the room as need to be in the room. Wouldn't it be nice to have those people in the room before? One of the things that we have found, and it has to do with FAST, there they are. Come to Mama pens. What we're real used to as consultants is we ask a bunch of questions, we get the gig, we do the work. And this is where most of the time is. What we have found repeatedly is the more time we take here, the faster we can work here. And the more effective, and the result is tremendously better. Tremendously better. This is really, really huge. There's a lot of pre-thinking that goes into, which we don't have time to do now, but a lot of pre-thinking that goes into before that call even comes in. Before that call even comes in. First call comes in, I won't take that call. I will reschedule that call. Hi, I'd really like to talk to you about doing strategic planning with my board. That sounds terrific. I'd like time to prepare. Can we set an appointment to talk? Let's set aside an hour. Let's set, and can we set some time so that I can take a look at your website and I can set some time to prepare. Tell me a little bit about your organization, what you're trying to accomplish. I'll take 5 minutes of just jotting down some notes and I'll set an appointment for a week from now so that I've got time to do some of this before I even get on the phone with them. I want to think about what they've told me, and what they'll tell you in 5 minutes or 3 minutes is usually pretty loaded, and we all know. You know, I want to do a strategic plan because I hate my board, and okay, great, Terrell. Is there anything I need to know if I'm preparing? As I get ready for this call, what do I need to know? Yeah, I've got one board member that's going to sabotage you no matter who you are. Okay, that's going to be helpful. So I'm being able to ask my questions before I even get into before I'm even on the phone with them. But what we have found over and over and over again is that the length of time we take in giving them some homework to read, giving them some, whatever it is, the length of time we take to prepare, this is hugely more effective in here, and it also takes a lot less time.